Go to the tarot. Go back to scene 3 for a second. Okay, guys, we have just one little technical issue. So I'm going to just bear with us for just 1 second as we're going to be right back in. Okay, so everybody just hang on 1 second. Hello. Oh my gosh. Yes, Mercury retrograde has wreaked its havoc one more time. Can you all hear me? Okay, give me some hearts. Hello, everybody. Unbelievable. Flipping believable. Can you guys give me some hearts if you can hear me? Yes, this is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, and I'm gonna need Mercury retrograde to get out of my way. Okay. Give me some hearts if y'all can hear me. All right then. One other thing, Lovey. Can you turn the knob where I've got the green over there on the red? Yep, turn the knob on the green that's lighting up green, turn it all the way up. All right, just want to be sure you guys can hear me good. Okay, thank you guys for your patience. It seems like every podcast there's something that goes on at the beginning of it, and I'm not sure why. I don't know why, but it's happening. How is everybody today? Happy Sunday. Happy Mercury retrograde. Happy new moon in Libra. Happy Uranus transit retrograde in Taurus. Happy Mars retrograde in Aries. Happy Saturn and Pluto and Jupiter direct and running for the border into Aquarius. And we can't forget Neptune in retrograde at all. Venus should be just about exiting Virgo at some point here very soon and getting into Libra, where it will meet up with Mercury in retrograde. Holy cannolis. We've got a lot going on. So I wanted to come. We were going to have a guest, and so I apologize of that for that. You know, things happen, and so we pivot and we move. And so I wanted to come here today for this podcast to really discuss kind of the Great Awakening. I mean, that just came over me while I was like preparing what are we going to bring to the people, to the collective today. And it just dropped in my spirit while I'm getting prepared for the Be the Light, the virtual retreat this weekend. This coming weekend that starts on Friday, and I'm preparing all the materials, and I'm just getting like crazy downloads. Thank you, consciousness. Venus goes in next week into Libra. Crazy downloads of just information. It just came over me that we've not, at least on this channel here, not really discussed what is this Great Awakening that everyone's speaking about. As far as it relates to us being spiritual people. Okay. Us being part of the spiritualist, some people will say the new age, right? Us new agers. I mean, I'll take it. Whatever. But what does that really mean to us? Because it means so much to other people, right? It means in the political realm, which I'm not going to get into here. There's plenty of other places we can get into the politics of this all. And maybe on my website, we'll do a special, election special that's going to be completely not here on YouTube. Can I just say that? Um, but so it means one thing in the political realm where conspiracy theory becomes now conspiracy fact, but we'll just leave that alone. And it means another thing for the Christians. Okay. And then it means a third thing, I feel like, for us as enlightened and awakened ones that have a little bit broader of a perspective. And I want to put this juxtaposition. I'm not trying to pit two groups against one another. But when I hear, I'm going to get a whole lot of comments probably from some folks that, are really entrenched, and that's fine in Christianity. That's fine. I'm an ordained minister, so I came from there. But, to the Christian, they're looking at this as this is the Great Awakening. Everybody, come to church. Everybody get ready for the rapture. Everybody get ready for all of this. And oh my gosh, CJ, I'm so very sorry I'm sorry for your loss. Oh my gosh. I'm very sorry for your loss. Bear with me. Sexy Peppa, please hit that. Yes. Hit the 3. Nope. I do not want that shown. Block her. Okay. That consciousness you don't need. I watch these for when you see some of that kind of stuff. We'll be editing this out for the podcast on Anchor. Anyway, so they're talking about getting ready for the rapture. They're talking about, it's time to come, to this salvation moment and all and this sort of thing. And if you are finding your peace, your zen, and on your awakening journey through that is awesome. I'm totally fine with that. But what I want to do is speak to the others, right? Those of us that are here, and we are beginning to understand a little bit more about what this thing called salvation is. And now how does this then relate to the collective and the Great Awakening that is really coming over all of humanity and is not just for a specific few. So it's really my belief, okay, and some others believe this as well, but it's really my belief that what we call Christianity is really a revelation of the Christ consciousness. Okay. And what does Christ consciousness mean? Christ consciousness really means the revelation of the possibility and the actual plan for you, as in the being reunified with source energy. It is the reunification of the human spirit, or should I say the human consciousness, that energetic field, your auric field, with source, from whence you came. And it is understanding that there's not a need for separation of the two, that even while you are here on earth having this third dimensional experience and going through the lessons karmically or otherwise, that there is space and place for you, and the plan always was for you to reunify in a real and a individual way with source energy. And what is source energy? Source energy is that universal life force, which in all actuality is just really pure love. So in the Bible and in other holy texts, when it says, when it speaks of the original, creation story, a lot of times most of those stories all throughout the ages will basically say source or God or however source revealed itself to that culture. Source created light, which is the illumination of wisdom, knowledge, and how to utilize energy, transmute it and transmit it and emit it in this third dimensional realm. It is the revelation of higher frequencies, which is light. Light is made up of photons. Light is made up of electrons and neutrons. Light is the very essence of all matter, right? Sound, light, the energies are intertwined. Now I know I'm giving y'all a physics lesson here, but I need you to follow me. Okay, I need you all to follow me. Now, love created light. And then from that, the frequency of which then created all matter. You and I, as energetic beings, the true beings that we are, we're truly energy, right? That's who we are at our base. That's who we are. That's our true self. We were once part of source. And so we come here to have this human experience. Some of us come and do this multiple times. I've worked with some of you that are here now, and maybe some of you that'll listen later with Akashic and Galactic record readings. And, some of you all have been here hundreds of times. Some of us have only been here less than 40 or 50. Okay. So, but we come here and have multiple incarnations. Okay. On this earth to have these human experiences, because as we come from pure energy or other galactic regions, if you will, other galactic races, there's something very special about the third dimensional human race. There's something very special about it. And there's something very cleansing, and there's something, I feel like us coming here into the third dimensional realm is really a way for us to experience life through our lower three chakras in a real way and work on those lower three chakras. If you notice, a lot of times when we have to do shadow work, that's really from sacral, solar sacral and root chakra. That's not it. You have some in the heart, right, that we kind of get out of, but you're not really doing shadow work in your upper chakras. Why? Because this is where we connect with light. This is where we connect with light. Okay, this is where we connect back home. This is where we ascend to and through, right? And these are the chakras that connect to other dimensions and higher dimensions. These lower three chakras are in frequencies that are too low to reach that. So I think a lot of it has to do with us like just cleaning and cleansing all of that, right? So that being said, this great awakening, what is this? This is an awakening to us understanding that we ourselves can have an individual relationship, and we're supposed to. An individual relationship with source, an individual relationship with spirit. It is the revelation that there is a necessity for divine feminine and divine masculine. It is pushing away and rejecting the idea that God is solely masculine and the paternal just rules everything, as if there's no need for mamas, there's no need for feminine. It is getting back in tune with our own duality, because we do come from a dual being that is all wholly encompassed in one. And it is learning to have this individual relationship directly with source without the need for a salvation or a savior consciousness. That is going to hit some people differently. I am not saying that there was no Jesus Christ. I'm not saying that at all. In fact, there were 13 other messianic sacrificed consciousnesses and figures throughout human history that we know. Okay? Many, many others. So we are on we are on the one of the last, I would say. I believe this is the last iteration. This is the last, if we were in the Matrix, this is the last Neo, right? Before we enter into a time period, which is the next time period of humanity and what human existence and human history shall be. I love these questions, and I will begin to answer them very shortly. The purpose then of the Great Awakening that we're doing right now, and the awakening, mind you, has been going on, I would say, since 2012. Some of us are a little bit later to the party. Some of us are a little bit late, but that doesn't matter. You still have your invitation, and it's still valid. But the awakening has been happening since 2012. And if you really, if you look at our current calendar, the Gregorian calendar, and you adjust it for different changes as we've done, in keeping of time, and kind of revert it back to the Mayan calendar. But some of you may or may not know is this is actually the year 2012 in the Mayan calendar. Okay. So this is actually the year 2012, according to the actual Mayan calendar, which signifies this is the end of an age and the beginning of the next. Now, the Great Awakening, again, has begun and en masse since 2012. There are others, of course, that woke up that were going through ascension well before then. But that's really, for me, where I believe when I look at the stars and the astrology and the energies at that time, that's when the awakening began. The purpose of it was so that more of us, who are light workers, star seeds, and light beings of all kinds, would awaken to not only the consciousness of who we really are, but then begin to go through our ascension process. And what is an ascension process? This is something that we are going to be speaking about in the upcoming retreat this weekend. But briefly, the ascension process is us going through and becoming attuned to our upper chakras. There aren't just 7. There aren't even 12. There's at least a total of 22 chakras. At least 22 chakras. So as we go through, and each chakra then represents a higher either a higher level in a dimension or a higher dimension. Your solar plexus chakra represents your own personal sun. That's why it's yellow. That's your sun. Okay, your sacral is your fire. Your root is your foundation. You have your own solar system within your chakral system. Do you understand? So while we're here, as we awaken and open each chakra and become attuned to new and higher frequencies, what then happens is that our third dimensional bodies need to process all of this information, process all of this energy, and learn to operate at a higher vibrational frequency on a cellular level. That, to me, is what the Great Awakening is. Now, what is the purpose for that is so that all of us that are under the sound of my voice now and in the future will understand you have a purpose. You have a purpose. You chose before you came here. And for my Christian friends, you'll find that in the second chapter of Joshua. Yes, second chapter of Joshua, I believe. Jeremiah, second chapter of Jeremiah, where God, Spirit, says, I knew you before you were born. right? And I set you apart and sanctified you before you were born, before you were even conceived in the womb, for such a time as this. Basically, you have already been given everything you need, every ability, right, that you need, and or you've been given the ability to gain access to everything in order to fulfill your purpose. What is happening right now is we are awakening to a few things. We are awakening to the fact that standardized structured religion no longer works. That age is over. Okay? We are the new people. We are the new generations that people will write about in 2,000 years. We are the generations that people will write about in 2,000 years. I want you to let that settle in. I want you to let it settle in that when you watch things like the Avengers, when you watch things like X-Men, when you watch things like Justice League to an extent. But to me, Stan Lee was really a very avant-garde, well before his time, understood things well before he could, well before he should have. We are that group. So you know how Jean Grey and Dr. Xavier can, do telepathy and all that jazz? There's a lot of you that are listening to me right now that have telepathic abilities. There are some of you right now that have telekinetic abilities. Most of you right now have psychic abilities. You just need to tune into them. Most of you right now have empathic, which I would say is rather telepathic, and then healing abilities. You are psychic and energetic healers. Okay? There are some of you that are out there that are like me. I always joke, those of you who perhaps, have heard me before say, I can literally be around somebody, touch them, and whatever their gift is that I don't have, I can literally, I'm like, oh, thank you. I don't even have to touch them. I can be in your energy field and get that from you. That's how I started reading auras. I'd never read an aura before, a couple years back. And I was around my Reiki master. And the minute I got attuned by him, all of a sudden I can read auras. I've been in the presence of psychic mediums a few years back, in the presence of some psychic mediums. Had never done that before. All of a sudden, there it is. So I'm kind of like a rogue. I take my gloves off, I touch you, I get your stuff. Although I don't leave you with no power left. So, I'm a little bit better than that. But what I'm saying is that there are these superpowers and that are not that far out of the realm of what you can hold to, what you can have. And we're coming to that age, we're entering that age. This great awakening is coming into the knowledge of who we really are. We are divine beings. We are divine beings from source. Some of us have made pit stops along the way. Some of us has been in the Pleiades. Some of us have been in, the Syrian solar system. Some of us have been in Orion. Some of us have been wherever some of us have done time in different places. Some of us have been here as long ago as Lemurian Atlantis. Some of us has been here as long ago as the reptilians, the good ones, that came down and assisted the Egyptians, right? So, and others of us, who knows, right? We've done things. We've been places. But we're here now for a purpose and a plan, and we are awakening not just to who we are, We're awakening to our purpose. We're awakening to our power. We are awakening to our very essence. The purpose of this great awakening is because there's more that are coming. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So I have to ask you, what are you doing to further yourself in becoming the light worker you were meant to, that you are? Not even that you were meant to be, that you agreed to be when you came here. What are you doing to further yourself and further awaken and ascend and assume your place? Assume your position. What are you doing? And are you doing I'm keeping a track of all these questions because they're very good. And what are you also doing then to get better at your craft? Whatever your craft is, what are you doing to further release your energy? What are you doing further to really empower your sun so that it emits an energy that is beautiful and glorious and draws people in and brings them to you so that you can then assist them, not do it for them, assist them, right? In awakening and ascending and taking their proper place in the universe. Now, I'm not trying to say anybody's failing at anything, okay? So this isn't a guilt trip, right? This isn't the good Catholic or good Jewish guilt trip, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Good Christian lady, let me tell you something. We're real good. Christians, we're real good at throwing out guilt trips. We got that down pat. Okay? So this isn't about the guilt trip. What this is about is, if as you become aware of who you are, then you become accountable to be who you are. And all I'm doing right now is saying this is kind of a state of the collective, right? We are in the midst of the Great Awakening. There's even more coming. There's an even greater awakening coming. That greater awakening is actually going to encompass as well, okay? We're going to see a continued decline in organized religion and a continued rise in spirituality. Mark my words. We are seeing already a decline in organized religion. We will see a further decline in organized religion over the next 2 to 4 years. By 5 years from now, this will not even look the same. This all takes time. So this doesn't happen immediately, but this all takes time. So mark the date down today. Sunday, what is today? October the 18th? Sunday, the October the 18th in 2020. Lisa said 5 years from now, the church won't, organize religions, period, will not exist in the same fashion that they do. Their time is waning. Their time is drawing to an end as we begin further to enter into this age of Aquarius. The age of Aquarius, because we're exiting the age of Pisces, the clock goes backwards. As we're entering into the age of Aquarius, we're coming out of this kind of space where we needed the illusion and the matrix in order to survive and to interact with the third dimension. And we're entering now into an age where time The fourth dimension is not the same. It's rather fluid. And we're actually, those that as we're ascending, there's a number of us. I don't know if you all have heard any of this. I've been hearing this and I've been knowing this for quite a while. But as we ascend, our physical bodies change. We become more crystalline in nature. Okay. And that is so that we can handle greater frequencies. And that is so that we can interact with higher dimensions on a much more fluid basis. And that is so that we can begin to transcend those fourth dimensions, that fourth dimensional constraint. Okay? Because humanity itself is right at about a 428-ish frequency, that the lower heart chakra frequency, where the earth needs to raise up and we need to get up to in the five, solidly in the fives, closer to the sixes. We need to get into the high heart chakra as we go into the next evolution, which is a greater relationship with source energy on an individual basis, and being an individual, yet understanding being part of the collective. Okay. So we're at this precipice where there's a number of us that are like, hey, yo, there's plenty of stuff going on. Hey, let's do it. Hey, you know, and we're like, oh, let me break free from this religious like confine and let's get out into the, world. And even if you look at it, honestly, most of us that I've spoken, most of you all I've spoken to, and I know myself, I felt like I could not really, let me tell you something. I could not be fully me. I could not fully walk in these superpowers. I could not fully express what I understood, which is that, source is not so freaking petty, that source is only going to have one way to get to reunited with source. That reunification is not just by one methodology, one modality. So the state we're in is we're kind of like the spiritual is rising, the organized religion is declining. And as we raise up, and even within the spiritual space, let me tell you guys, even within the spiritual space, there is a grand separation between those that are comprehending that it is what it is, that energy is energy, that those that are still kind of like judgmental and, oh my God, I can't believe you believe that stuff. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, right? And that really are kind of faking it. They're kind of being fake and phony. Because I've noticed I'm in some of those Facebook groups from some peoples, and I'm not gonna name names about whose Facebook groups I'm in, but they're fairly, large YouTubers and they have large followings. And these are groups that either spiritual or astrological or what have you. Anyway, they're more on that new age end, and I'm seeing so many that are so highly judgmental. I'm like, I would think that I am literally sitting in the church. Now, I can say that because I'm a minister. So I can say that. Okay. And just like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like they're not really changing their mind. So those are not people that are honestly on this great awakening path. Those are people that are faking it. Those are people till they make it, and God bless them. Hopefully they make it, and maybe it'll rub off on them. I'm not judging them. I feel sorry for them and I hold space for them. But we're in this stage in the Great Awakening. Let me tell you guys, we're also in this stage where, yeah, a lot of people are going to say a lot of things, and they're going to, run to the astrological groups, and they're going to run to all the tarot readings, and they're going to be here and there and everywhere. Okay, they want to be in the thing because that's what's in the new, and it's what's happening. But they've not really done the work, and they're not really ascending. So we can't judge them. But also, I gotta it's going to be a Heisman. Okay, I got to push you a little bit away. I can't interact with that. We're getting to this separation even amongst the spiritual. Okay, so how you could tell who's right, who's really like on that level, or who's really ascending? I'm telling you, if you see a high level of intolerance for anything, then that's not somebody that you probably want to that you probably don't want to, move around to. So, Wendy, how am I judging them? I'm not judging them. I'm making a statement that when you have the high level of intolerance, you are not showing, right, a level of ascension. I'm not judging them. Bless them, release them. We're holding space for them. But I also don't have to interact with them on a regular basis either. There's a difference between being non-judgmental, right? There's a huge difference, and not interacting. I can choose to do that so that I can protect my energy. Okay? I can choose to do it so I could protect my energy. And that's what I'm going to encourage you to do. So now, let's talk about the state of the union. Okay? Let's talk about the state of the collective. Let me get some coffee. The state of the collective is this. We are on the precipice of the next major portal, which is going to open on December the 14th, 2020. From 2018 through 2019 and now into 2020, we have been leading up to, Spirit has been leading us up to this year of full disclosure, this year of perfect sight, this year of opening of knowledge, this year of opening the doors to the higher dimensions. Okay? This has been a year upon which we are supposed to be laying our foundation for the next 10 years. Every new year starts at 0. Every new decade starts at 0, ends with the 9. That is actually 9 is actually the number of completion. And the reason why I say 9 is the number of completion because it's the number of personal completion. It is the number where everything comes together and you should be seeing harvest. This is why I love the 9 of Pentacles. This is why I love the 9 of Cups. Right? This is why the 9 of Swords represents anxiety because it's all in your head. If you remember the 8 of Swords, you're trapped in your own mind about some thoughts. And the 9 of Swords, you just didn't let it just run wild. And now it's just like, keeping you up at night because you didn't purge those ideas and thoughts and whatever was going on in your third dimensional mind. Now it's like you've worked yourself into a tizzy. And the 9 of Wands could either mean resting in the knowledge, right? Because the 8 of Wands is information being brought to you, messages quickly or travel. Now we're going to rest and defend the position. The 10 of Wands, I'm grabbing everything up and I'm getting out of here. Okay. So 9s are very significant in a lot of different ways. So what have you done during this whole year? What foundation are you laying down for the next 9? I said in 2019, at some point I'll probably I'll put it back up. I said in 2019 that 2019 was the year that there was the foundations for the teachers and leaders, so to speak, in this ascended and awakened group. We were being awakened at that point. 2 + 1 + 9 = 12. That is the number for councils and government. 12. 2020, I'll add it together, equals 4. 4 is the number of life purpose. We were laying the foundations down structurally for this year for more of folks to come in and be discovering their life purpose. Okay? More of that. So, from a purely esoteric and spiritual level, on your awakening journey, where are you? Have we done the shadow work and begun to integrate that energy in so that in the human body we don't make the same mistakes, so that the human mind and third dimensional self can be renewed and washed, and we think differently, therefore we are different? Where are you? Are you getting more accustomed to the conversation vertically and less meaningful with this conversation horizontally? Are you learning to access and activate and accelerate more of the spiritual? I'm not going to keep calling them gifts. I'm going to call them abilities, because they're not just gifts. That denotes that someone external from yourself has to give it to you. That's why in 1 Corinthians, I believe it is, in the Bible, it talks about these and the gifts of the Spirit are, right? And the way you access the gifts of the Spirit are you get baptized in the Holy Ghost, and speaking in tongues is one of the gifts of the Spirit. And I could go on about that. I preach that all day, every day, twice on Sunday. I preach that for years. So, but it had to be something that came upon you and you were given it. So that also denotes that you potentially can't have it. And I'm of the mindset now that they are accessible. That's another podcast. What are you doing? What are you doing? You've awakened. Now what? Are you seeking out information? You've awakened. Now what? Are you seeking to be in communion and relationship with and finding your tribe? You're awakened, and now what? Are you getting in tune with what your life purpose truly is, why you even came here in the first place in this lifetime? So the state of the union, so to speak, the state of the collective is I see a lot that are awakening to that. I see a lot that are just like, oh, wait, yeah, there's more going on. Great. This is fabulous. I know that I can get there. Yes, 2019 was definitely final exams. 2020 is definitely is upgrades. And as we launch, as we come into the winter season, into the solstice season, as we come into December 14th, 2020, that is an eclipse new moon. That's an eclipse new moon. We had the new supermoon just a couple days ago. We'll have the next in the trilogy of supermoons in Scorpio. That's going to be a nice little time for you to dig up and dig deep. That's going to be a perfect time for you to begin to understand what are your soul contracts and how are we going to execute them. Because on December 14th, 2020, on December 14th, 2020, is that new moon in Capricorn. There's going to be movement and other conjunctions that are happening that are going to open up a portal that is going to make plain and clear and make accessible to a greater degree the new technology for us. It's a spiritual technology. It is a manifestation technology. It is, but it's greater than that. It is literally an energetic technology. And I can only call it technology because I have no other third dimensional word for it. Light code activation, cellular transformation, and an ability to emit energy at a higher level. Okay? And a greater frequency, not only to emit it, but to receive it. We absolutely, as those of us who are awakened now, we absolutely have to prepare ourselves for this portal. And as we come into this portal, during this time of great darkness, there will be great light that comes through. Do not be surprised in 2021 when we have open visitors from other galaxies and other planets. Don't be surprised. They're already showing up. Do not be surprised. Do not be surprised when you will need to identify. I said this last year. God, I've been saying it for 2 years now. You will need to be able to identify a human being because you yourself have to be able to connect to them on a spiritual level. In other words, AI in 2021 and 2022 will take on a brand new meaning and a brand new operation in the world. And it's going to become even more difficult for the normal human, for normal everyday people to be able to tell the difference between a robot or an AI and a human, because people's consciousnesses, their third dimensional consciousnesses will be able to be downloaded into this AI. However, they will not possess a chakra system because you cannot replicate the spirit. So when I say it's important for you to be spirit led, I used to say that all the time at the beginning of any of my broadcasts, that the purpose of this channel was to help you lead a spirit led, whole and healed, peaceful and prosperous life. Peaceful meaning nothing missing, nothing broken. Whole and healed meaning just that. And spirit led meaning you are led by your spirit and not by your third dimensional mind, and certainly not by, the groanings and needings and wantings of your third dimensional body. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying that's not what drives me. Okay. I don't let my hormones drive me into what I'm to do. They don't lead me. And now my intellect doesn't lead me. It's my spirit that leads me. You cannot replicate a spirit. You can download memories. You can download your Akashic record. You cannot download spirit. And this is the thing If I'm going to say where are we now and where are we going, where are we now is we're just now beginning to identify how do we have this conversation on a regular moment by moment, day to day basis, and how do we tap into that energy and bring it here across the fourth dimensional, barrier and into the third dimension. Where are we going? We're going to where we're living fifth dimensionally at the same time while we're having the third dimensional experience. Now, I've seen some questions. That's the state of the union, guys. I'm going to stay on for a little bit longer here so I can answer some questions, okay? Thank you guys. I've been watching out of the corner, and thank you so much for being here. I so very much appreciate it. Not sure how many we have on Facebook right now, but we've got, I know we've got over 100 here. YouTube. Yes, energy can never be truly distorted or created by anyone. That is very correct. Thank you, Mickey. I saw someone ask, can we pick and choose which ones we wish to, which gifts or abilities we wish to operate in? I do believe to a great degree we can. There are some that are harder to access, and Trisha, we're going to be going over that during the retreat. I just literally finished the module on accessing and activating spiritual gifts. I literally just finished it about an hour before we came on. Thank you guys for subscribing, and I really appreciate it. Anya TV says, how do we know when we can start teaching or helping others elevate? You can start doing it immediately. I like to say that when you really sense that you have at least a good chunk of your stuff taken care of. So by that I mean like 2.5 years ago, when I had just gotten out of my horrible narcissistic relationship, marriage, and everything, I was a mess. I had no business and could not ever. Hey Travis, could not ever be like teaching somebody. Okay, that was not my role. I needed to heal. So once you've done a good chunk of your healing, because we're always healing, then go on and do that. And then there's people like myself and some others that are here to mentor you in that realm and assist you all along the way. So that was my purpose, just so everyone understands. My purpose is to help heal, train, and release light workers into their purpose. That's why I'm here. Okay? That's why we're doing things like the retreat, which is Lightworker Boot Camp. You can still sign up today by 11:59. And matter of fact, try to get it in before 11:59, please. Sign up today and put a down payment down. And if you need to do some sort of payment plan, that's cool. But I want y'all to email me at Heart of Inspiration, admin@heartofinspiration.net. Email me by the time this podcast is over, so we could deal with it, because I'll be up all night anyway. But anyway, if you want to come, I have, how many more spots can we probably accommodate? Maybe 5? I think we can only accommodate 5 more people. I'm asking Miss Whitney. Eventually, Miss Whitney will be getting on camera. She'll be getting on. I'm going to have her lone little camera up there, and she's going to get on camera, and she's going to be speaking. We're going to get her set up. Okay? Y'all need to see Miss Whitney, because I could not have done this without. So that's when you can start doing it. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is very true. What else did I see? What else do I see? Okay, I am interested in knowing what you see after the system has fallen down in December. The system is not going to completely fall down in December. The system will take a little bit longer to fall down. I see some specific things, though. It's hard for me to see what's going on with the election. I believe there's certain things that are going to happen. I see 2 different endings, though, right? Depending upon what happens. As far as the religious side or the spiritual side, this is going to be what will appear to, I say gradual because, 5 years feels like a long time, but it actually isn't. But we will begin to see the system, more of this elitism rise up, where this desire to live forever in a third dimensional realm becomes even a greater obsession for certain individuals, certain groups of individuals. I do see a space where there is a chunk of humanity that is more than willing to remain under control and under a level of mind control and spirit control, if you will, that unfortunately I'm not sure they will wake up. They may not wake up immediately, and that's okay. But I do see then more of us who have awakened. I do see us transitioning over time, and it may feel like it may end up being quicker than I think. But I do see us transitioning into more of a crystalline body, and that by that I mean as our DNA, as we awaken and open up and activate the junk DNA, which is kind of our galactic, if you will, DNA, our body changes on a cellular level. Now, this is 501 stuff right now, so take from it what you will. We then become what the church calls a translated body. That would be what Christ appeared as after he had ascended. Right after 3 days, he showed up in the upper room. I don't know how long it was. Anyway, no, it was more than 3 days, like 2 weeks later. Anyway, shows up in the upper room. Everybody's scared up in the upper room, right? In the first book of Acts, guys, if those of you that don't know, follow along. First book of Acts, they're all in the upper room. They're all scared, because now they're getting killed for being Christ's followers at this point. They're being hunted and killed. And Christ appears out of nowhere in the upper room. And this is where we get doubting Thomas. Thomas says, if this is you, let me touch you. So he was material enough for Thomas to touch his hands and feel the holes where the nails went, really his wrists. However, he had the ability to then go through walls and teleport, if you will. We're not going to be able to do that immediately, but I'm saying we're turning into a crystalline body that is going to be less blood and more bone, flesh and bone with no blood. The blood ties us here. That is a whole nother podcast. And if you guys want me to talk about that, I definitely would talk about that. What are the beginning steps of shadow work on oneself? Thanks, Elizabeth. The beginning steps to that. Sitting in meditation, allowing yourself to commune, right, with spirit, with your angels. If you're going to do this on yourself, I would say you definitely want to invite in angelic beings, and spirit for protection and for comfort. I always say envision a white column, or at least the column of love and light to come, not just into your crown chakra, but around your entire being. Because as you release things, you want to have somewhere to put it into and allow it to burn and go away. And then you integrate some of the information. But I just literally started saying, I would just sit there, get into meditation, and just be like, okay, what are we working on today? And literally each memory would begin to come up. And I would sit in that feeling, because you have to understand that you got to allow yourself to feel the emotion now so that you can change the account and change your response. It can no longer hurt you. So you take each of those. This is very simplistic. This is a very simplistic explanation for kind of a deep concept. But you take each of those memories, you forgive the other person, you forgive yourself, and you set that outside of you. And allow the hurt and the pain to be out there, but remembering that we don't want to have the same response to that same issues. Okay. These are great questions. Very, very good questions. What else do we have? Let's see here. If you have any other questions, pop them in. Pop them in here. Oh, who says they don't feel? Armani, baby. Baby, baby. You have got to feel. You've got to feel. I didn't feel either. I didn't let myself feel. And I'm a Cancer. You're like, what do you mean you didn't feel? I didn't feel jack doodly squat. Okay, I have an Aries moon and a Cap rise, and feelings, emotions. I had no time for that. I was raising 3 kids by myself. There was no time to cry. There was no time to feel because I had to act. And it wasn't until I was 40 some years old that I finally felt. I don't know about the Sophia code, my love. Cynthia, email me a little bit about that. I will check into it. admin@heartofinspiration.net. Alternate forms of meditating. Wow. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I would say not everybody meditates to music. Not yoga is one that can definitely be a form of meditation. I would say yoga definitely is. Some people actually meditate while they're walking in the park or in the woods. Some people meditate in the bath. Okay. Some people meditate just sitting looking out the window. Meditation does not always mean you go into some sort of trance. Meditation and mindfulness are almost interchangeable in the fact that what you're doing, you're being present in the moment, and meditation is just kind of allowing your mind to not be the one that's in control, not be the energy in control of what's going on, but allowing your spirit to be in control. So your mind kind of gets shut down in a way, but don't fight it. I think a lot of times people have issues with meditation because they fight, right? They fight their mind. They fight their mind. You need to not fight it because the more you fight that energy, the harder it's going to kick. Just kind of let it be and let it just kind of go. Do I recommend any pose for meditation? No. I can't meditate lying down. I'll fall asleep every time. I do recommend that either your feet are on the ground so that you are grounded, or if you're sitting, cross-legged, that so that your root chakra is as close to the ground as it's gonna get. You need to be sure that you are grounded. I don't usually recommend meditating with your feet elevated. I also don't recommend meditating with your third eye looking down. Please raise your head and make sure your third eye is on or above the horizon. Movement would probably work for you being a fire sign, yes. I do guided meditations. I used to do more of them. I used to put more of them up on YouTube. I'll probably start doing more of them again. I don't mind guided meditations. I couldn't meditate to them, but at the end of the day, sometimes I meditate to music. Most time I don't. I'm just like, but I go places all the time. So anyway, what was the other one? Meditation. What? I missed it. Okay. In water is good. Yep. Good. I'm glad your third eye tingles every time you meditate. That's excellent. That's spirit trying to get you to learn how to focus your lens and sharpen your ears, because your third eye also is your ears. Can I explain more about seeing people's auras? Some people literally see colors. Like my Reiki master, he literally sees auric colors. So he'll see the various colors of the chakra represented in one's auric field. And so I can't imagine doing that. Because that would just like freak me out. So I say I see auras, but I sense auras. So I sense whether or not there's a blockage in your root chakra or your solar plexus, if you have an enlarged heart chakra, if there's blockages going on, or just a non-focus in the third eye chakra, or it's just not been activated, if your crown chakra hasn't been opened. I see I because I'm a Cancer, I feel everything. But for most of you all, I have to say I see. Because if I say I feel it, you're gonna be like, that's hocus pocus. So I see. So I feel your auric fields. You might think then, how in the world are you handling this right now with all these people in this chat? Because you can also choose to not feel everybody's auric field. You can learn to turn it on and off. I can tune into it when I choose. And if you could see anything around me right now, I don't have a bunch of crystals around me. I mean, I'm wearing some, but I could take it off. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna. I've learned to turn it on and off. Do I recommend using crystals for anxiety? Yes. Kirk, did you sign up for my retreat? We're gonna be talking about that. Crystal prescriptions. We're gonna talk about that, and We'll put some of these classes up later. You're welcome, Mickey. Thank you for being here. Tune in when you choose. It's exactly right. Thank you, Linda, for being here. Thank you so much, Conscious. I appreciate it. I'm trying to see my other moderators. I don't know who else, but I really appreciate all y'all being here. Do we have any other questions? You need better vocabulary words. Why? Listen, okay, can I say thank you so much, honey? Thank you very much, Sophie. What does this time mean for twin flames? She used the TF phrase, guys. Oh, goodness gracious, Sophie. I'm going to say what this time means, period. Okay? For anybody. This is not time for you to be focusing on a twin flame. This is the time for you to be growing in and of yourself, for you to be accessing your own purpose and your own power. Because to me, if you are focused on what this relationship could or couldn't be with this twin flame, because just because they may be a twin flame does not mean they're your person for this lifetime. It could be that your twin flame is meant for, there needs to be some karma cleared. It could be that you all were just meant to work together in some fashion, but y'all are too busy taking it as romance that you're going to mess everything up. Could be a lot. This is time for you to not put your whole self in to someone else to find fulfillment and to find purpose. So twin flames, please work on your singular flame before you try to pair it up with another flame. That's my feeling on twin flames. And now, twin flame heart, can you put that one up, please? Oh, honey. See, this is why y'all. I need y'all to give me some other. Like, I'm willing to do whatever podcast topic we want. Send me some podcast topics because that whole twin flame thing be child. Bye. I cannot. I cannot. Anyway, um, I think we all need a different vocabulary. I find it, I don't know if any of you are finding it difficult, but I'm finding it difficult to translate spiritual concepts into third dimensional words. Some garlic. What are they, like vampires? Are they like energetic vampires, twin flames? Okay, y'all, let's back it up now. It's okay. It's all right. It's okay. We're gonna get off the twin flame. Let's get off the twin flames. Let's leave it alone. Um, I mean, yeah, that's okay. I haven't found. I mean, I'm gonna tell you something. I found very few twin flame relationships that actually work. Like Ralph Smart from Infinite Waters, he's one. He says he's married to his twin flame and he's in love and they have a great relationship. I'm like, okay, brother, that's cool. That's cool. But I mean, and I think there's probably some of you that have some twin flame like success stories that you could share with me. I would love to hear them. I really would. What happens when your consciousness comes out of your physical form? Okay. Wow. Can I tell you my consciousness comes out of my physical form a lot? So the dual citizenship. What was that other one here? On alien spiritual beings. Oh, you mean like most of us in this podcast right now? Sure, we could talk about star seeds. If we're ascending, do we really need a twin flame? Oh my gosh, we're back. Oh, wow. You know what? Listen. Okay, I'll tell you what. We are in a little while. We are going to talk about this whole twin flame thing, and I'm gonna have y'all come on to the podcast, and we're going to have the discussion. Okay, we're gonna have the discussion. Um, this is keeping my journey stagnant. Need you to touch on this topic more. How is this keeping your journey stagnant, Lovey? Anyone else have a massive headache on October 16th? If you're having headaches, if you're having like bad ascension symptoms, side effects, things like this, headaches, guys, I need you to do something then for me. I need you to visualize your crown chakra and your third eye chakra as if it is a lens on a camera and close that aperture some. And then I'm going to need you to do something a lot of us hate to do. And I'm going to need you to ground. I'm going to need you to put some black tourmaline or obsidian underneath your bed, underneath the foot of the bed, if you can. If you have cats like me, you might need to put it in between the mattress and the box spring. But I need you to ground, okay? Because sometimes what happens is we're so open to these energies and we just keep being the receptor. You can turn the spigot off, okay? You can turn the spigot off and you can bring it in, all right? Okay. So I saw some people having some bad ascension symptoms and things like that. So turn it down, honeys. You don't have to keep it open all the time. All right? You don't have to keep it all the time. Okay. Lots of knee. What is about lots of? I've had knee and joint pain. Can I just say something? Cut down on your dairy. Podcast on ancient civilizations, the Palladians. Oh, that would be fun. We could do one on each of them. Maybe we do one on each of the star seeds civilizations. That would be very good. I had a bad headache on Thursday too, by the way. I was irritable as hell too. It was bad. I didn't want to talk to nobody. I was not. But then it was crazy because I did the live with you all and the mid-month readings, and it turned out great. Yes, it will be available on Spotify. I have been so busy getting ready for the retreat that I haven't had a time to edit all this audio and get it up there. So we will be getting it up there over the next couple of weeks. All right. All right. All right, guys. I gotta go. Thank you to my new subscribers. I so appreciate you. Thank you for liking. You guys, if you enjoy this, like, please share it. I'm so grateful for all of you. The audience is growing every week, and I'm so grateful to all of you for being here with me. So grateful. I really appreciate it. And we're going to continue on. Now, next week's podcast will be right after we get done with the retreat, kind of that light work, a boot camp kind of thing. So Lisa can retire from her day job. Yes. So we'll be, kind of talking about light worker boot camp a little bit more. And we're gonna kind of hopefully have some of the people from the retreat on, and we're just gonna kind of discuss probably some like attunement things, like attuning into the frequencies of okay, Angel, thank you. Tuning in the frequencies of spirit. So we'll chat about that, and then we'll begin to line up a couple more guests, and then we'll continue to do this as well. So I love this. This is this is just fabulous. So and I want you guys next week to look for, I'm going to put up something for us to have a special get together. It will not be on open YouTube though. I really want to talk about the election and the energies we're all sensing leading up to that. So that's going to be a special something, and I'll put up more information about that very, very soon. All right, guys. Peace, love, blessings, and joy be unto you today, tomorrow, and for all eternity. Thank you, beautiful mods. Thank you, beautiful folks in here in my chat. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you, beautiful Whitney, that you can't see. But thank you, everyone. Okay. I love you all so very much. Namaste.